I couldn't finish this week without one Mirror's Edge video.
Hello there, people of YouTube land. Once again, it is I, the Zombie Messiah, and this time we are going to be doing a little mini review for the new Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Now, as I said in one of my videos with Soul Dragon, I have been looking forward to this game for a while now. In fact, when I got the game, I got the collector's edition with this cool statue. But anyway, enough about statues, because we've got a game to talk about. Now, with Mirror's Edge Catalyst, DICE decided to take the things that made the original Mirror's Edge back on the 360 and PS3 and PC good, and they made it better. This time changing the linear story for an open world. And for the first attempt at making a open world Mirror's Edge, this is actually a really good one. There's a lot, while there's not as much to do on the map as in, say, Assassin's Creed or Mad Max, there's just enough to keep you satisfied, whether it be side missions, deliveries, security hubs, grid links, or you can even just do running around and all sorts of stuff. And also, with the social play aspect that DICE has added to this game, players can now add their own time trials for other players to do, and beat links, which other players can find all around the map. And which actually adds a lot to the things to do. The story isn't exactly long. In fact, it took me about, I don't know, about 6 hours to complete. But it is a story that is interesting from beginning to end, and it helps to set up the world of Mirror's Edge nicely, especially since this is supposed to be a prequel to this Flynn's Lair. And there we go, much better. But yeah, I really like the first Mirror's Edge, and I love Mirror's Edge Catalyst, just because it gives you that feeling of freedom. As I said, with replacing the linear story with an open world setting, it gives you so much freedom on what to do. For example, I did the story first, and now I'm just going back to doing the side missions and all the deliveries. In fact, I even managed to get one of the skill-based trophies for the PS4 version, which aren't exactly all that easy to get, mainly because with the button combinations, it does kind of get your fingers all tied in a knot. But there's still something to go for. In fact, when it comes to replay value, I would easily say that Mirror's Edge Catalyst has the most replay value out of any of these games that I've got. Well, mine is Mirror's Edge Catalyst and Fallout 4, but then Fallout 4 is absolutely packed. And also Final Fantasy 14, because that's an MMO. And Elder Scrolls. And technically Destiny, leaving only just J-Stars, but then again, J-Stars is just a fighting game. But, yeah, Mirror's Edge Catalyst has a lot of replay value, because if you don't feel like, because once you completed the story, you can easily just go back and try to improve your progress. Yes, I haven't tested to see if the upgrades that you get carry over into the replays. But if they do, that can definitely lead to easier and quicker ways to finish each of the campaign missions, and give basically allowing you to try and beat your own time, which is actually a really nice touch. Now, one of the problems that most people had with the original Mirror's Edge was that the free running tended to be a bit clunky, and it was very complicated to get at the hang of. But to those people, one thing I have to say, that's the point of free running. Free running isn't exactly the easiest thing in the world, and I mean, sure, a bad control scheme can kind of take you out of the experience, but still, the control scheme of both of Mirror's Edge and Mirror's Edge Catalyst actually reflect the difficulty of real life free running, because free running is something that people can actually get injured from, so you can tell by that it's not really easy. Mirror's Edge understands this, and so, with its gameplay, it doesn't make it easy. In fact, with Mirror's Edge Catalyst, they've kept the same amount of controller difficulty, so it's hard to learn, but once you've got it, it feels so satisfying. And they've added a lot of new moves, such as if you're vaulting over something, you could actually hold the jump button, and Faith will be able to springboard off the item and to get a higher jump, and possibly even which will allow her to reach higher areas. And now in this game, you can actually see how much momentum you got with what's called the focus shield. Now, one thing that I've heard so far about the focus shield, that isn't from me playing it myself, is that, well, it's from Jim Sterling's first impressions on the game, where he said that in the tutorial message for the focus shield, it said about dodging bullets, and he said that it felt like that every bullet was hitting him. Well, to be honest, the focus shield pretty much works like a shield in, say, Halo. So, it's designed to give you a little extra protection from bullets or melee attacks. It's just DICE's way of being able to incorporate a shield mechanic to make it a little more easier for you to stand up well in a fight. And speaking of fighting, the combat, well, one of the bad points of the original Mirror's Edge was that the combat was just really poorly implemented. In fact, sure, you could disarm enemies, these in the first game, but you had to aim your disarm just right, otherwise the enemy would slap you in the face with their gun. Now, they've removed the ability to disarm weapons, or to disarm your opponents, but in a loading screen they actually give you a good reason as to why in canon Faith can't do it. And the reason is because every weapon that is used by a member of KrugerSec has biometric scanning, meaning it will only work for certain for members of KrugerSec. Now, with this, they could have had a mission where Faith snuck into KrugerSec and added her own biometrics into the system, but that wouldn't work just as well. Well, in fact, it would seem a bit more like the Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay. But other than the inability to disarm opponents, the combat has seen a massive overhaul. It now feels like it now feels like you can easily go toe to toe with anyone in a fight. And I mean, from easy enemies, where all you just gotta do is just mash the light attack button and then you've beaten them, to enemies where you've got to use a bit more strategy and you've got to try and work your way around them to try and get to weaker areas, or just use your heavy attack to knock them into each other or a wall. Either way, it still works. But so yeah, the combat in this game is much better than in the first one, and at where it doesn't feel like you're just running around going. Instead, your attacks actually feel like they have some weight to them. Now, before I get I've been singing praises about this game a lot so far, but that doesn't exactly mean that there aren't any bad points. Sometimes, in my case, I don't know if this has happened to anyone else. Leave a comment if this has happened to you. But I've had some moments where the controls did tend to lock up, which had led to me getting a couple of deaths. And there was also one problem where, while I was recording the footage that you're seeing now, the footage for this video, where I was actually no, wait, it was after I finished recording all the footage for this video, where I slid down a slidable surface, and I had bugged into the floor, causing Faith to slide towards the edge and then fall to a death. So there are some bugs, though that can be kind of excused, especially because of the size of the open world. We let Bethesda off, so why can't we let DICE off with a couple of bugs? They'll eventually patch it in. As much as that phrase pisses me off, I will admit that at some point DICE will probably take note of the bugs that are still in the game, and they'll deal with them. Also, there are some places where you'll look around trying to figure out where to go, and you just won't have a clue. There was one building where one of the hackable billboards is at, where I literally spent minutes trying to figure out how to get all the way to the billboard, which was at the top of the building. I eventually managed to find it out, but it just took ages. Now this could just be a fault on my behalf, but still, it's one problem that I've had. One other thing is, if you're expecting to see some of the characters from the original Mirror's Edge, such as Merc, Celeste, or Miller, then I'm terribly sorry, and this is technically not a spoiler, but you ain't gonna be seeing them anytime soon. I imagine they'll pop up at some point in this, I guess you could say, new Mirror's Edge storyline, because, well, I won't say spoilers for a while, because seriously, if you want to see what I'm getting at, go buy the game. No, I am not being sponsored by EA. In fact, EA probably wouldn't even think about sponsoring me because of my because of my count of only 9 subscribers. But yeah. But yeah, I will easily say that Mirror's Edge Catalyst is easily worth a purchase because of how much is in this game. One extra thing that I want to cover is the new upgrade tree. Now, in this menu, you can customize your Echo for time trials that either you do or other players do. And you can also as you complete missions, you'll get upgrade points, which you can use to buy movement, combat, or gear adverts or upgrades. I've already got all the movement upgrades, but as you saw, there are different intel upgrades, different attack upgrades, which I'm just looking through now, including one which allows you to easily get behind enemies, such as the Sentinel or the Shock Protector. And so I just got an extra little bit added to my focus shield. Now, the map in the game is also massive. In fact, you've got your central hub, which is the transit hub, or the runner layer, and then you've got about 5 different areas that you can explore. Each of them are massive. Meaning that you can go on every rooftop if you're able to get to it. You can actually go into certain buildings. There will be openings in buildings that allow you to just climb through. There are ways that you can use your extra gears, such as your mag rope. And as I said, there are also user created beat links and time trials. Also, you can see if you can beat the time of the person who set down the time trial. Now, also with the time trials in this game, they've added a new division system, where depending on how well you do in the time trials, it assigns you a division. My current division, for example, is Plastic 1, meaning that I'm on top of the Plastic class, and I've got some more work to do in order to get to the max. I do not know what the max is, unfortunately, but I'm sure I will get there eventually. Now, also here you've got little moments where you can see some KSEC officers is just standing around, and if you get near them, they'll attack you, and then if you manage to take them all down, then you'll be chased by a KSEC VTOL. And there are 2 ways to escape from the VTOLs. One, you have to get out of their search radius, or 2, you have to go into a safe house. Now, luckily, there are safe houses all over the city, meaning that if you ever need to hide from KSEC, then you just need to go to one of these safe areas and you'll be fine. Now, to wrap this video up, I will be doing a lot of Mirror's Edge videos in the foreseeable future. In fact, I'll probably be doing time trials and eventually a playthrough of the campaign. So just so you know what to expect, and just so you know that this channel isn't done with Mirror's Edge yet. In fact, we're just getting started, and there's going to be a lot more where this one came from. So, if I had any music, this would probably make this outro a lot better. But still, I do recommend going out to get Mirror's Edge Catalyst if you haven't already got it. Or even just seeing a friend play it and taking part at some point, because this is a game that needs to be played. Plus, it's also got the added virtue of not having microtransactions. So yay! Every little thing that you get in this game, including the echo types or the echo patterns, and everything for your runner tag, you actually get by doing things in the game, so you can easily get everything for your runner tag and your profile without having to pay a penny. So I can easily see Mirror's Edge Catalyst becoming a favorite for everyone who is not a fan of microtransactions. Well, if they can get past the control scheme, that is. But anyway, this has been Zombie Messiah with a mini review for Mirror's Edge Catalyst. And well, everyone, it's time to get up and run.